What's going on, fam? Welcome to the Hope TV. So excited that you tuned in today. It's a joy to have you here to the Hope TV. We're excited you tuned in to another episode of Marriage Matters. And Andre and I here welcome you and welcome. We're here to welcome you and glad to have you. We've been doing this a year now.
Wow, a whole year.
Whole year. And we started last year in March for our Women's Week, and here we are. Listen, we're in season 5. This is episode 6, I believe.
5 or 6.
6, yeah. So man, so welcome everybody. So everybody who's tuned in today via Apple TV, Roku, Twitch, Amazon, YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, IG Live. Even now, welcome new IG Live family, and we have 3 different websites that are viewing. That's House of Hope, Edwin Smith, and the Hope TV. So welcome everybody. And if you're watching through a platform that will allow you to subscribe, to like, to comment, or to share, please help us get the word out. We're excited. Just 1 year, we've had over 110 million views of our content.
Wow.
Unbelievable. And that's because of the favor of God and because of wonderful people like you. So help us get the word out. Every time you hit that subscribe button, you can get notifications when new content is uploaded. Your likes, your shares, and your comments help our algorithms and help us to really, really expand the platform. So thank you for being a part. Listen, this started out with the women's ministry last year, and it was supposed to be just for married couples. But I think you talked to singles.
Singles,
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah, I think everybody. It's
Yeah.
not just for married couples. So a lot of people are watching it, and we're thankful for you watching. And this is one of our most viewed programs. So welcome, 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 welcome. We're excited today to have a very interesting couple here today with a lot of insight. I think it's going to be very, very insightful to us. And I think, Andre, you've been kind of producing these shows, you and the team, and you've been trying to get this couple on for a while, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so we're excited
Love
about
them.
it. They're a great couple and a lot of wisdom. I don't think we've done one quite like this one. Well, yeah, maybe so. It's gonna be very
Not
unique.
like this one.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. Yeah, but we're gonna get a lot of wisdom here and something that's gonna be very helpful to us. We want to welcome Gerald and Shirley Scrine to the program. Welcome to welcome everybody.
Hey.
Thank you for having us. We're very pleased to be here.
Yeah, y'all look great. Welcome.
Oh,
So we're
thank
going to
you.
start
Feeling
off the
great.
way we normally start off, and I'm going to start off because I know Miss Shirley's going to tell the truth about how you tracked her down, Mr. Gerald. So, Miss Shirley, tell us how you guys met and how you guys got together.
Okay. Um, I live next door to his brother, and Gerald had come here to visit his brother. He had been here a couple of times, but I only saw him this time. I went, and my daughter, Frederica, lives about 3 houses down. So I went by, I came from work, I stopped by her house for a minute, and then I made the circle coming on back home, and I saw his brother, and I asked his brother who was that guy sitting in the garage. And Gerald said, I can speak for myself. And he came down. He said, it's my brother. And Gerald said, I can speak for myself. My name is Gerald. I'm from Miami, and blah, 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 blah. Uh, who wants to know? And then we met, and he said he'd be leaving. He's from Miami. He'd be leaving in 8 days. And we didn't see each other for the next 8 days. We saw one time I was going to church one Sunday, and he was in the garage, waved at him, and that was it. I didn't see him anymore after that for that 8 days.
Well,
Well,
actually, I want to put a little clarification on that because what was too hot to sit in the garage. This was in July.
no, it
So,
was
well, it
in
was October. Right? Yeah,
October.
October. I was sitting outside the garage.
Well,
And when
whatever.
she
I
drove
got you.
by. Who that?
I,
I don't need him to speak for me. I can speak
Now
for
wait a minute.
myself.
Wait a minute. Now
Yeah,
let us finish telling the story. Now so I want to hear. So
yeah,
you didn't see
yeah,
each other for 8 days. Go ahead.
So
for
then
eight
what
days.
happened?
Okay, so I went to work on the 8th day. It was Halloween. I went to work. I came home and I saw Tony out, in the yard. And I asked him, I said, "Where's your brother?" He said, "He left this morning." And then, like my mother would say, my feathers fell. Because I'm like, "What? He left?" So he said, "But he wanted me to give you his number, his phone number." I said, "Oh, okay." So he said, "I get it for you." He gave me the number, and my girls had raised me since my husband, my anyway, my previous husband, they raised me not to be too anxious because that shows desperation. So I had to wait a couple of days before I called him. And I finally called him, and we talked for an hour and 7 minutes. And after that, that next morning, he texted me, and it was he knew that I was a Christian, and he was trying to impress me, telling me about God. So, that really did it. I got this text message the next morning, and that was it. The rest is kind of history. We talked every night after that until we saw each other again, which was maybe a month later. But that's how we met. Yeah.
Wow.
hmm
So so basically, she saw you outside. She saw at your brother's house, Miss Gerald, and she couldn't resist. So she just had to get the phone number by any means necessary. Basically, that's what happened,
That
right?
was that's my interpretation of the situation. That she just had to have it. She,
But how did you end up moving to Atlanta?
uh, well, we was going back and forth. I was coming back here. I came back here a couple times, and she came to Miami to visit me. And last time she went back, then we got on the phone. We decided to. I said, well, this long distance relationship is not gonna cut it, so we might as well get closer together. And I had already made up my mind I was gonna marry her. But she was the best thing that happened to me since I started eating meals.
Wow. Wow. So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So when did you both know? When did you know this is it? So you met in October. When did you know
hmm
this
This
is
is
it?
the one.
I think. Well, we talked on the phone for the whole month of November, and then in December he came to visit. He came back to see his brother, and we spent a lot of time together. And I think that's when we knew, in December.
Hmm.
Wow.
hmm
Wow.
Yep.
So how long was it before you actually got married?
A year later,
The following December.
yeah, it was 1 year later.
hmm
Wow.
Yep.
So you just knew, and it clicked. And that's a beautiful story because that's amazing.
Right.
Sounds hey, that's beautiful.
So Miss Shirley, I know
Really?
this is both of you guys, this is your second marriage. And you were married,
Right.
you got married young and you were married a long time. So can you tell us a little bit, if you're comfortable, about your first marriage and how you guys
hmm
met and fell in love and what happened with that situation?
Okay. I was 16, and I was singing in the choir, and Freddie, which was my first husband's name, he was an organist, and he started taking me home from rehearsal, and then it got, you know, it we started talking. My mother, um, trusted him, liked him a lot. Anyway, we started talking, and next thing we know, we were getting married. We dated for about a year, and then we got married. Um, and we started making music together. And we made three musics. Three musics.
Wow. So how long were you all
Mhm.
married?
32 years. 32 years. Yeah. And he was, um, I was really mature for 16. He was older.
Oh boy.
He, he was actually 5 years older, but, he was still a little, how, well, I think men kind of mature a little slower than we do.
That's
Anyway,
We agree.
But of
yeah.
course, we're a little bit faster than you are too.
So anyway, we were he went and bought a Hammond organ. We were living with my mother. He went and bought a B3 organ and put it in my mother's living room because he was an organist. He was in love with this. The organ is downstairs right now in the basement. We still have the
Wow.
B3 in our
Wow.
house with the Leslie and everything. Yeah, my son plays it now. But anyway, that's what happened. We were married for 32 years. We had 3 children. Um, Frederica was the oldest, and Daryl in the middle, and then we had Marissa, the baby. And we always wanted to live in the South. We were both born and raised in Chicago. We always wanted to live in the South, and we had an opportunity to come to Atlanta. So we did. We moved down here in 90. I moved in 95 because I got a job. Um, and I hope I'm not taking too much time
No,
with
no,
No,
this.
go
that's your
ahead.
But
story.
yeah, the job that I had been on for 23 years in Chicago, I worked in accounting, and I came down and I found out that we had a branch down here. So I talked to, while we were waiting to see the house that we were told about here. Um, I talked to the man. I went to Gray Bar and I talked to the manager, and she said that she had 2 positions. If she didn't have one, she'd make one, and I was welcome to come. So then we saw the house that we were told about, and it it wasn't what we expected. But I had a job, so we went back to Chicago. We prayed about it. We talked to some people, and we decided to move to Atlanta. So I had to be down here in a couple months. So he had to stay there and sell our house. So I came in 95, he came in 96. And in 97, October 1st of 97, he had a stroke. And the day after Father's Day of 98, he had another stroke. And he lived 3 days and passed away. So,
Gotcha. Yeah.
yeah, but this was our
Yeah.
dream to be in Atlanta. We're here in Atlanta, and then he's gone, so. But we got to be here we got to be here together, so that was a blessing, you know.
So he passed in 98.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Gotcha.
98.
So you and all the girls are down here. So everybody moved down?
Yeah.
Everybody moved down. I moved in, like I said, me and my mother, because I brought my mother with me initially.
Mm-hmm.
We came in the end of November of 95. Marissa came January of 96. My sister came in June of 96. My only sister. My uh, oldest daughter, yeah. Drika came in August and Daryl came in September. That was
Wow.
it.
So that's great.
Hmm.
That's what a story. And so he passes in 98.
Yes. 98.
And did you ever think about getting married again? I know that's a painful piece. How long did it take you kind of consider dating again after that?
It took like
Or
5 years. About 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Gerald, you've
Because
been married before too?
Yes, I have. I was a scoundrel. Um, I got 2 children out of wedlock, so and much of my story began in prison because I did 13 years in the penitentiary. So that's where I owe much of my understanding from being in jail, because this is a great, great institution, great place of learning.
hmm,
Um, I'm not proud of it though, but I mean, I wouldn't be the type of man I am now if it hadn't been for that experience. So yeah, and
Wow.
right after that, I got married when I came out in '79. We got married in January '80. Um, wow, that was an explosive relationship. It was
How long? How
filled with
long? How long? How long you stay married?
3 years because I went back to prison. So and she didn't want to have any more to do with me. But all is it's all good now. I mean, I spent a lot of time alone. Um, so you learn when you're in your deepest, darkest despair, and your loneliness brings out the best in you. So I went through. I had to come full circle, you know, because I was in and out relationships. Matter of fact, that was my forte: in and out, in and out, in and out. I mean, I seemed perfectly happy being that way. You know? And I was uh I was killing myself. And plus, not only because of the relationships happened, I was on drugs for a very long time. You know, I was I was well, I still even got to go. I can even go further back to do my problem began because it began with my parents, with my mama. She was an alcoholic, and she was a hellion. And boy, she was mean and evil,
Mm.
but she was mama, you know, and I loved her. I loved her. And my dad, he was the most man that I ever met was my father because the abuse and the suffering that he endured, I don't know how any man can go through that. But
Wow.
he hung in there for as long as he could because of the children, and and but my mama just dogged him, just I don't know a relationship like that. It's just like it was made in hell. But he stood in
Mm.
there for his kids, and I mean I respect him greatly for that. So I left home. I went to the service. I'm a Navy veteran. I joined the service, and it was the best move I could have made. But that didn't stop my ill ways, but it kind of set me up later on in life. And but I'm in and out of prison and back and forth out the hood, and because I'm from Brooklyn. That's where my problems started because I'm always looking for an avenue of escape. But not me knowing at the time that there is no escape. I mean, there's only realization, what you know, what you can bear on yourself, bring on yourself, what you can do for yourself. That's It took me a long time to learn that lesson, but eventually I learned, and I
You know
thank
what's
God for that.
let me interject something here because it's real deep what you're saying, and I thank you for being honest and transparent. But it's deep. You know, most of the time we hear these stories, we hear about how sweet and how stable the mom is, and how rotten and how much of a hellion the dad is. Normally, you
Mhm.
know, of course we know there are exceptions to every rule, but that's the typical
Yeah,
story. Mom was there, dad was no good. Mama took all of daddy's mess. Let me ask you, do you think, you know, having your mom with the way she were, and I'm sure that she's like that because of what she saw too. So she wounded people because she was wounded herself, but I'm not getting to that right now. But do you think how she was that um, made you treat women a certain way? Were you
out,
looking at your mom when you saw them? You think you did that out of pain, hurt toward her?
out of pain and a lot of hatred. Even though I love my mom, I hated her ways, and it's well, I was always running. I was always seeking, but never finding. But the thrill was in the search. I mean, even though I couldn't find what I was looking for, it was a thrill seeking for what it was. Even though I never found it until I woke up and realized that God has more in store for me. He has better things in store for me. He has
Wow.
life more abundantly for me.
My.
And he gave me the best blessing, the best gift that I could possibly receive. And I thank him
Wow.
so much for.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing. Shirley, we talked you talked about the kids moving out here, and Andrea, she, her daughters, I'll let you answer that question
Yes,
because
yes. Those are my girls. Your daughters and I. We just clicked as soon as we met. It was like,
I
I love them too.
know,
I love them
right?
too. Yeah.
I mean, we just clicked. It was just like, we've been knowing each other all of our lives when we met.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about, because I know how close you all are. I know how close you are. I know how even your grandsons. I mean, even we clicked. I'm their auntie. It's like we just
Right.
all just became like family. But you are like mama. You are grandmama. How did they feel when they realized you were thinking about getting married again?
Well, they
Okay.
they didn't. It was rough. Because well, the girls. Drinker is the quiet, kind of sweet one. Well, Marissa's sweet, but Marissa gonna say what she got to say. Drinker
Marissa what?
is
Marissa what?
she gonna say
She's a sweet one.
she's sweet, but
Okay.
she gonna let you have it. If you got it coming, she gonna give it to you. And Drinker hold back. She'll keep it to herself, bottled up, and she might not talk to you for a few minutes, but uh, but Drinker was the one that received him first, and I think it was because she knows how long I had been lonely. I've been lonely. I've been alone for 17 years,
Mm.
and she knew, that I was lonely, and I needed a companion because, I was a grief counselor after Freddie passed away. And I've heard women that say they've lost their husband and men that's lost their wives, and some will say, "Oh no, I'll never get married again. I love my husband, but I'll never get." But I was the opposite. I loved my husband. We had fun. We were like sister and brother, because we grew up together. So I loved him dearly, but I wanted another one. I wanted to do that again. I love the life that I had. And I wanted, because I'm a nurturer, I wanted somebody to look after, to take care of,
Boy, did God sure fulfill that wish.
I wanted somebody to take care of. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know how I got all the way over there on that
That's
street.
good. It's
But
good.
anyway, but the girls and Marissa was a little harder to come around, even though, and then part of it was because after Freddie passed away, Marissa and I were like two peas in a pod. We did everything together. We went to the movie together, went to the store together, we lived together, we did everything together. So now here's this person that's taking her friend away, and she was a little harder to receive. And I think they thought too, here's this light skinned man with good hair, and he might be stuck on himself. What is he gonna do with my mama? And they were probably feeling like
Don Juan did arrive on the scene.
they feel like, yeah, what is that gonna be? What is he gonna do to my mama? And my son, we won't even discuss him. He's still trying to come
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the girls
Yeah.
finally came around, and they love him. They respect him, and they treat him like a father. Daryl he's respectful, and uh he I think he likes him. He might even love him, but he just has a different way of showing it. He
I
but
ain't no
he
Freddie.
but he's kind. You know, he's kind to him. At first, he wasn't even. He
No,
barely
no.
spoke. But now, you know, he even gave him a hug. You know, so
Let me ask you this,
you know.
because that it's funny you said that because you know when my parents got divorced, you know my brothers and I, but I think when my mama you know had people interested in her, um,
Hmm.
I would go there and regulate the house too, and
You did.
oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah, oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I shut the whole house down, and cause I think cause you know my mom and my dad had been together since she was 12 or 13, so
Uh-huh.
she hadn't really been out there a lot to experience a lot, so I just you know she wasn't street, so didn't have in my you know what I mean. So I'm just kind of watching to make sure ain't nobody trying to you know what I mean.
He was Daryl on
Right.
steroids.
Yeah, yeah. So
Daryl Lester.
uh, yeah, I don't think I never liked nobody that she yeah from time she died from
Nobody?
time they yeah I didn't like
Nobody.
nobody nobody that she was interested in. I didn't like none of them. I just one of them was all right, but I just think was it Thomas?
Thomas.
He was all right, but I don't know. I don't know. Just so how did that make you feel, Gerald? How did it make you feel about you know Daryl? How did it make you feel?
Um, I peck away at his veneer. I keep
Mhm.
pecking. Um, I show him things, you know, that I can still be here for you, even though I'm not your father. You know what I mean? But I love your mother, and he knows that I love his mother, and he respects me for that. And
Right.
even though he doesn't show his emotions, and he'll wear his heart on his sleeve, so to speak. He's he's a generous man, and I do anything for him, which I have demonstrated that I do anything for
Mhm.
That's great. So so how did you know, or when were you ready? Because she told us she was ready to, you know, after you know a while she wanted another husband. So when did you know you were ready to get married again?
him. I didn't want to be a player no more. I mean, I
Mm.
was fed. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. So it was the process wasn't as hard for me as it was for her because she had her children. You see, my boys, I mean, they could care less because I've been estranged for so long. They don't even think I exist. But
Wow.
she had children, and she don't look she a concern. She was don't not only concerned for herself, but she concerned about what other people think also. So she had a lot of friends, and she had a lot of encouragement, but she had a lot of naysayers also. And but I wouldn't let that deter me because I knew what I wanted, and it was it's her. I knew that from the first time we talked on the telephone. I said, "Well, this woman got something for me. Let me stick around and see what it is." And boy, was I right.
Wow.
I gotta admit something. I was skeptical about you too. I know she probably
I
told you.
know. I know. I know. I know. I mean, the whole church. And when I walk in the door,
We just,
that's,
you know, we just didn't know you.
Shirley.
You know,
I know.
we didn't know
Oh, that's
you.
Shirley. What? What?
You know I think it's not necessarily skeptical. It's more so protective.
Right.
It's you know
But
it's not
yeah,
and it's just you know somebody that you love and care about and want to be well and you don't know the person's intention. So it's more out of the overprotectiveness that sometimes you know that you know what I'm out of time. Lord have mercy. Can y'all come back? 'Cause
Oh.
it's a lot more meat on this bone.
Whole lot.
oh,
We
oh,
gotta we got
mm,
we gotta get into it. Will y'all come back next week? Y'all stay on and do part 2 for me.
we will.
Okay.
All
Y'all
right.
have time. All right,
Yes,
then.
we
Thank
We
y'all
will.
have
so much. Hey,
time.
man, this is we just getting started.
I know
We
it, right?
got
I told you.
we got 2, 3 more shows. Listen, I hope everybody's been blessed today. Gerald, Miss Shirley, a lot. Those who've been going divorce and remarriage and children a lot of insight they gave us and other people, man.
Right.
That was heavy. And we're gonna come back and pick a little bit more with their comfortable, get some more insight, more wisdom. And I hope that y'all been blessed by watching. Hey, share this link with somebody. We're gonna close this one now, but we're gonna be back with them next week. They're coming back next week, same time, same day next week, because they got a lot more they're gonna share with us, and we're excited to have you with us. So thank you for being a part. We're gonna log off this episode of Marriage Matters, but as always, remember this: if you be good to God, God will be good to you. Till next time, peace. Take care. Bye
Bye.
bye. Thank y'all for logging.
Bye.
Thank you for watching.
But